How important is this guy? Well, very simple. In their last 9 without Gabriel, they've only won 3 of them. They've also, I think I read a stat as well, they have dropped 9 points from winning positions when he's not on the field as well. He's huge. He's absolutely huge.
Okay, so here's a look at where things stand at the top of the table in the Premier League ahead of this weekend. Arsenal enter the weekend with a 4-point cushion at the top, while Spurs sit in 5th on 18 points. Second place Manchester City will hope to close that gap with the Gunners on Saturday when they travel to Newcastle. You've got 8th place Liverpool, who have lost 5 of their last 6 in the Premier League, trying to change that when they face off against Nottingham Forest, who have been struggling in the drop zone at the moment. And then only 3 points separating 3rd from 10th place. So going to be really interesting to see where things stand at the end of this weekend's matches. But we got to talk about Arsenal and this big North London derby that they've got coming up, Nico, on Sunday. Before that, though, on Saturday, Manchester City will be in action and a chance to pull within just a point. How much pressure does that put on Arsenal, and how much do you think that's going to be something that they carry? Because one of the biggest criticisms the last few seasons is that they haven't necessarily been able to handle some of those big moments.
Yeah, it definitely puts pressure on Arsenal if City is to get the job done the day before, because you kind of see where you can fall, right? You understand the scope of your failure if you happen to lose to Spurs, a team that hasn't beat you in, 15 years?
At the Emirates, 2010.
Samir Nasri was playing for Arsenal. So it is a pivotal week for the Gunners in the Prem, in the Champions League, more so just because of the way that the Champions League is formatted, with it being so generous. You could drop not only points, you could lose here and there and still be strong in the standings. This game becomes so critical to the story of the season.
No doubt. And Geoff, one of the other big storylines coming in is just how many injuries both teams are dealing with at the moment. The most notable of those being Gabriel, who just picked up a thigh injury while on international duty with Brazil this past week. For Arsenal, he's been part of the best defense in the Premier League this season. How big is that loss? And let's talk about the intangibles first off. What do Arsenal miss not having a player like Gabriel as part of their backline going into this game and what could be until January?
Yeah, it's potentially a huge loss, and we'll get to whether or not Arsenal can cope without certain players at certain moments in the season. Because one of the big talking points when we started talking at the start of this season was, at last, Arsenal have a squad. They have real depth and genuine competition for places. How important is this guy? Well, very simple. In their last 9 without Gabriel, they've only won 3 of them. They've also, I think I read a stat as well, they have dropped 9 points from winning positions when he's not on the field as well. He's huge. He's absolutely huge in both defence and in attack as well. He brings, it's at both ends of the pitch. And also as well, particularly against Tottenham. They've beat Tottenham. The last 3 games they've beaten Tottenham, and he was man of the match in 2 of those. Wow. So he's a real thorn in their side. However, if Arsenal are serious about challenging for the title, they cannot let the loss of one player derail everything. They can't have a sense of panic, we've got no chance against Tottenham because Gabriel isn't playing. That would be ludicrous. So the only questions now are, who will replace him? Will it be Mosquera or Hincapié?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Obviously, Gabriel's indispensable, and there's not one player that you can plug in there and say, all right, he's replacing Gabriel, because like you say, defensively, offensively, on the set pieces specifically, I don't know if there is a center back that is as fearless as Gabriel going in for a header on a corner kick. He changes the game. He changes the game for Arsenal. So obviously, I don't know
the last minute winner against Newcastle.
I mean, I'm astonished with how effective Arsenal are, and a lot of that is due to Gabriel. Mosquera and Hincapié, they're 2 different type of profile of players. My hunch is that it's going to be Hincapié. Just given on that side, it's a player that can play, has played left wing back, can play left center back. So
I think you're exactly right. I think it'll be him because he's a lefty.
Right.
Saliba's a righty. So they balance each other.
It makes sense.
And he was a beast at Leverkusen.
He was very good, and for the Ecuador national team, this is a guy that's gotten consistent top-tier minutes for his national team, for Bayer Leverkusen, flexible like Arteta likes. Mosquera's a little bit more raw. In his cameo this season, in the couple of cameos that he's had, he's looked very good. Another flexible player. He can play. He's at the end of the season last season in La Liga for Valencia. He actually also played right back. So he also does have that flexibility, but he's much younger, less experienced than Piero Hincapié.
Going to be a big decision to be made for Arteta. Do you go with the more like for like, or do you go with the player who's already shown and
I would be
has had
shocked
more
if it's not Hincapié.
Quickly, do we see a world in which Arteta tweaks the formation at all?
No.
Perhaps like a back three, back five?
For me, no.
Okay.
Definitely not. It's subject to injury. He's got Calafiori as well to come into the equation.
No doubt.
They should be fine.
Okay, well, let's shift our focus now to the Spurs side of this conversation, Geoff, because they come in with a number of injuries themselves. They've done better this season under Thomas Frank. They're currently sitting top of the table, pushing for European football, playing against their biggest rivals. What are you expecting from them come Sunday?
Well, this is why club managers hate international football. They're like the mother bird in the nest waiting for the chicks to come home after their first inaugural flight. So Pape Sarr, he went off injured. We don't know where Bergvall is at. And look, there's Kulusevski, Madison, Solanke, Bissouma, Archie Gray. Forget virtually all of those. The only one on only the bottom two, I think, possibilities for this weekend.
Right. These are we kind of knew of. Yeah. Here up, we knew like these are long-term injuries. Dragusin did his ACL. Solanke's been injured long-term.
Forget them.
Madison did his ACL.
Forget all of them. You need Pape Sarr on there because he's a doubt and he's a big player for them as well.
Kudus is back though. I mean, that's the biggest bright spot for Spurs right now.
Yeah, because he's an important player. And Kudus as well. He missed the last two. He missed Copenhagen. He missed Manchester United. So he should be back. So that's a boost for them as well. But again, Tottenham have still got enough good players. They've got enough of a squad to have a decent go. And let's not forget, Spurs are unbeaten away from home this season. Arsenal are unbeaten at home this season.
Wow.
So Tottenham won't be coming into this fearing anything.
Spurs are a better team away than they are at home.
100%.
It's kind of crazy how bad they've actually been at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And it kind of presents the perfect storm brewing for this North London derby crash where you say, you look at it on paper, Arsenal are deeper, Arsenal have more quality, but Spurs have that different fighting spirit that perhaps they can pull off something that seemed impossible over the last couple of seasons.
But Nico, I'm surprised, a man of your experience and knowledge and of global football, you're making a common mistake. You're applying common sense and logic to a derby.
That's true.
And as you well know, it goes right out the window. So as both as allegedly a professional, but also as an Arsenal fan, you go into these games, you just fear the worst because it's a derby.
And imagine the tone that will be set, for example, for Spurs or for Arsenal. Just the media and everybody that is a Premier League fan has kind of put all of this pressure on Arsenal to get it done because they are in pole position. They probably have the best, deepest squad. Everybody else has kind of gotten off to a false start, especially the defending champions. City is catching ground, but they're making up for this lost ground. So for Arsenal to walk away with a win, statement against Spurs, it's like, all right, this is for serious.
And also, to your point, it's the biggest week as well, and it would start the week off perfectly.
You want to start on the right foot and set the tone because then you've got Bayern Munich midweek, Chelsea the following weekend, so massive game for Arsenal for a number of reasons. Well, let's dive deeper into this match from a betting perspective and bring in our guy, John Buckets Eimer, or should I say Benny Buckets, because you've got a new nickname here on the show. And you've also got your sweet, remind me of your dog's name again?
This is Freya. This is my 10-year-old German Shepherd. I'm trying a new strategy where if I give out bets, even if they lose, at least you get to see a cute dog. So
wait, Buckets.
You know, there's still a win here.
I have an idea, like bets and pets with Buckets.
Bets and pets.
Bets and pets.
There's a sponsorship deal there somewhere.
There is something there. Okay, so bets and pets. What do you got for us for this Arsenal Tottenham North London derby happening at the Emirates on Sunday?
I've got 2 bets for us all. I've got one for the Arsenal fans and one for the Spurs fans, kind of covering all my bases here. And as Geoff has already reminded us, you got to be very careful because not only is this a derby, but this is the first match coming back from an international break. So please make sure to bet responsibly when you're looking at this fixture. For my bet for the Arsenal fans, I'm looking at a player prop, and I'm trying to figure out who's going to get on the score sheet here, who's going to have a goal, who's going to have an assist, because this Arsenal side does have a lot of big injuries. There's going to be no Gyökeres. There's going to be no Havertz. You've already mentioned no Gabriel, that 2-time man of the match in this fixture, but you still have Saka available. And anytime I see Bukayo Saka to score or assist at a playable line, he's sitting at -115 right now. That's where I'm going to go. The sportsbooks thinks that Arsenal are going to win this game and score at least 2 goals. I don't know if we're going to see a ton of goals in this one, but if Arsenal does want to produce a positive result and grab all 3 points, you need Bukayo Saka to stand up, you need him to have a big game, and you need him to play well, which he has shown time and time again that he is capable of doing. So I love Saka to have a big impact in this matchup. And then for my bet for the Tottenham fans, this is a bit of a weird one, and it doesn't say a whole lot because I'm not betting on them to score. I'm not betting on them to win. I'm actually betting on their corners angle, something I don't do a whole lot, but I'm looking at Spurs to have over 3.5 corners in this matchup. It's +150, so big plus money on this one. Spurs have covered this now in 6 head-to-head matches against Arsenal. They also have the 2nd highest corners per match, specifically when playing on the road. Geoff mentioned they're a good road team this season, and I think they're going to go down early. If Arsenal are up 1-0 by the 30th minute, it is going to force Thomas Frank and the squad to push aggressively to try to find a result. And if they're pressing, I do think we see at least some corners. So I do think Arsenal probably win this one. I think Saka's going to get on the score sheet, but I do think Spurs are going to have some corners and keep this relatively tight if they can.
That's good positive value for not that many corners.
Well, also as well,
It's not a lot.
I mean, that is a left of field. I was just looking how unimpressed Freya was with that bet.
Freya, can I back me up here? Oh, no.
No.
She hates it. That's a good warning to everyone.
Hey, well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. This could be a little good luck charm for you and maybe a new segment idea for the future. So good stuff.
Freya Parlaya. Oh.